Hey, it's John Nemo. Want to talk to you today about the number one type of content that converts connections into clients on LinkedIn. Far and away, having done this since 2012, LinkedIn lead generation, having tried every type of content under the sun, from webinars, videos, short form videos, written posts, text, photo images, infographics, you name it. There's one piece of content that time and again and again and again, no matter what industry, no matter what niche, no matter what year we are living through, this content again and again and again, both for myself and our clients with our LinkedIn lead gen agency, is what converts people best, turns them from a connection into a client. And that is, drum roll please, eBooks. I know you're thinking eBooks. Wait, what? What's an ebook even? So let me explain what I mean by an ebook, because there's a lot of variety about that. What I'm talking about when I say an ebook is a 3,000 to 5,000 word long PDF that you create. So you write out 3,000 to 5,000 words and you get it professionally designed, meaning it has a cover page. It looks like a book. It looks like a digital book, basically. You have a cover page, you have layout, you have authentic photos of you, not clip art, not stock art, but photos of you individually as a person. And what really makes for a successful ebook is a couple of key things. One is you need to tell your story. So it needs to be your story, your journey, or your hero's journey, as Joseph Campbell puts it. So, how did you get started? Where did you come from? Why do you do what you do? What are some tales from the trenches of what you've learned over the years doing what you do? Part one is telling your story. Part two of the ebook is demonstrating expertise. So that's where you say, and hey, having done this for this many years, having helped these types of clients get this type of outcome, here's my 5 biggest tips on how to do ABC. Now, what you'll see in a lot of ebooks today is the second part, tips. Hey, here's 5 tips to make $1 million in 2 seconds for real estate owners, or whatever it is, right? A lot of people will have generic ebooks that are just tips, just tips for an industry, copy paste, templates, scripts, which are fine and people get value, but there's no connection. There's no connection. It's just on to the next thing. It's like using Google and copy and pasting. You don't even know who you got the ebook from or who the person is or what the story is. Remember, human beings, we are wired for story. We love stories. We tell our kids bedtime stories. We spend millions of dollars creating movies and writing books and videos, right? And all magazines and all those things. We love, love, love a good story. We are wired actually at the psychological, physiological brain level to encode and remember information from stories. That's why people tell stories, and you remember them forever. Like, you don't remember all the facts and figures you memorized in school. At least I don't. But I remember stories. I remember certain teachers, and I remember them because of the stories involved around those teachers, those relationships, those experiences. So when you tell a really good story, a couple of things happen. One is people remember what it is that they're reading because it's done in story form. 2 is they get to know, like, and trust you because now you're a character. You're like reading a book or watching a movie and you're the hero of the story. Well, we all like the hero. We all want to, follow along and hope they come through in the end and all that. So what you do is you really share your personal story. And the more you can be authentic and transparent and genuine and put your personality in, the better your ebook is going to be. Meaning, it shouldn't just be some polished thing about how you're perfect. You've never had a bad day in your life and you have it all figured out and you make gajillions of dollars and, instantly can snap your fingers and fix everything. I much prefer a relatable character who has been through the ups and downs, has had these challenging times, has been in the trenches, made costly mistakes, but learned and pivoted and adjusted. When people read that, when they read your authentic story, because nobody goes through life unscathed without making mistakes, without learning valuable lessons, painful lessons, when you can share that, but also the lessons learned and how you improved it, people really find you relatable and approachable, and they feel empathy, and they're like, wow, you're a real person. You're not afraid to let your guard down. You're not afraid to admit, you started your business with one client, enough money for 30 days and $30,000 in credit card debt and 3 kids at home, plus your wife, and no backup plan, which was me, by the way. I quit a safe 6-figure day job in 2012 with one client, enough money for 30 days, about $35,000 US in credit card debt, and no savings and no plan other than, I think I can do this. I think I figured something out with LinkedIn where I can use LinkedIn to get clients. And of course, my story is within 90 days on my own using LinkedIn, I did over 6 figures in sales to strangers on the platform. And that led to the book LinkedIn Riches and the agency and everything else. So again, I have a story there that makes me very relatable. And of course, I made so many mistakes, and I share all that in, my story in my books and everything else. So people know, oh, okay, it's not like I just instantly figured all this out. I went through a lot of trial and error. But again, part one of the great ebook is telling your personal story. And that's also where you want to have authentic photos, real photos of you, your family, behind the scenes, working on your business, doing whatever it is you do. Don't just use like fake, graphics or stock images or whatever. Like use you, because I want to see the real you. I want to connect with you as a human being. Part two is demonstrate expertise. Share your absolute best stuff. You can either do it via a case study, and a great formula for case studies is what it was like, what happened, and what it's like now. What it was like when I met this client, they had these negative things going on. That's what it was like. What happened, I did these specific things, these specific strategies, tips, whatever. What it's like now, they have this great outcome. They're happy, they're made money, etc. What it was like, what happened, and what it's like now. Simple case study formula. You can do it with your own story, right? What it was like when you started, what happened, how you got through it, what it's like now, and then how you help other people. You can also just demonstrate expertise by saying, in the context of your story, hey, here's how I did 6 figures in sales in 90 days on LinkedIn. Here are the specific steps I took with creating a client-facing profile, and here's how you do that, and here's a template for that. Here's the steps I took building lists of prospects in Sales Navigator. Here's the exact one-on-one messages I sent people and what I said, and here's how I used content as currency to kind of buy the time and interest and attention of people before I talk to them live. So there's all these different ways you can do that, but again, through the delivery vehicle of an ebook. And I've seen it with multiple clients who are even in the same industry. A great example was I had a franchise consultant where they said, I've actually had multiple people switch. They're under the umbrella of like one company that has multiple franchise consultants, and they all, they bump into each other's leads or whatever. And this person actually said, hey, basically people are switching to me because they like my story better. They like my ebook better. They like my story better. They feel more connected to me, which is amazing, right? And that's the power of an ebook. And that's why it's such a valuable way to do it. So here's what I would recommend. If you're not sure how to do this, obviously hire someone to do it. A lot of people think they can do a good ebook and they think I can just use AI. What I see is AI tends to be too generic and tends to be kind of just very bland, or it doesn't capture your voice accurately. Also, you need a really good designer. You need to actually have it look valuable, because if your ebook looks like you made it yourself and it's kind of, amateur hour with the graphics and the design and the layout, people aren't going to take your brand seriously. They're not going to think you're a high ticket, high value, high dollar person, consultant, business owner. So obviously we do it for our clients where we, interview you, take the transcript, write it in your voice, have a high-end designer do it with photos of you. But you can also just do it on your own in terms of hiring help or whatever. The key thing is, and what I love about ebooks, are you can use them infinitely. Meaning it's a digital product, it's a PDF. You can use it over and over and over and over and over again with every single lead you run into on LinkedIn. Unlike a article or a newsfeed post or a short form video that you publish once and then it's gone, and then you got to do something new and you got to do something new and you got to do something new. An ebook is kind of like your calling card. It's kind of like your business card, but it's bigger than that because it's your story and your expertise all bundled up. And what I've found with our clients is if someone reads a 3,000 to 5,000 word book about you with photos of you and your family and your story, they read a story about you, they get to know, like, and trust you as a human being and a person because you've been vulnerable and transparent and authentic. You've shared tales from the trenches. And, oh, by the way, you've demonstrated a bunch of expertise in an area where this person needs help. Now they want to talk to you. Now, when they get on a phone call with you or a Zoom call, they're already qualified. They're already warmed up. Your content has done the heavy lifting. You don't have to start the call by saying, well, let me tell you my story. I started the business here and this is why I do what I do. And here's the ups and downs. Like, they know it all. And that's why I love eBooks is on their own time, people can qualify themselves on you. They can take their time. They can read your story. They can get to know and like you and trust you. They can read your tips and decide if they fit. And then you can ask them to hop on a call to see if you can help them. It saves you so much time and so much kind of relationship building and rapport building, because they're going to come into the call saying things like, I feel like I already know you after reading the book. Right. And obviously you can go longer than an ebook and write a full length book, even better. But that's why this tool works so well on LinkedIn. That's why it's really the number one piece of content. So if you haven't already done this, do an ebook, right? And if you're like, well, I don't really have a great story or whatever, tell your company's story, or, find ways to mix in your personal story into whatever it might be. If it's, you want to use case studies, that's fine too. Use a bunch of case studies, but make them really good stories about people you've helped, so that the other person reading it remembers you're at the center of these case studies. You're the trusted guide who helped these people when, they had these situations. And again, the formula for that is what it was like, what happened, and what it's like now. So all that said, get after it, create a great ebook, deploy it on LinkedIn. You'll thank me later, trust me, and we'll see you soon on another episode.